Hi, it's Keith Townsend from the CTO Advisor with today's CTO Daily Dose. So, in the news recently, there's been a lot made of viruses like the Pedia virus and how it spread through organizations like Merck, really big global Fortune 500, and has cost $100 to $200 million in physical losses. This is one of those things I have to give a tip of the cap to Greg Farrell over the packet pushers, who has come to the other side of the equation, who's argued that security can cost organizations real money. And this is an example of security costing Merck legitimate losses. The business has been shut down for weeks. And effectively, when you look at something like a drug manufacturer and they're unable to ship product, this can be a life saving incident. You can look at hospitals, etc., but the idea that your organization can be crippled because of a desktop virus, this is something that we haven't been accustomed to in quite some time. I think probably the closest thing we've come to this in the past years has been the Code Red virus. And we saw early drumbeat as a response to that VDI could potentially be a solution to that. Edge, bandwidth, and edge network connectivity has been an issue in the past, but maybe not so much anymore because we have such a much more mature ability to deliver VDI. I was listening to Dom Delfino over on Speaking in Tech this past week on how he's talking to customers from a VMware perspective about protecting the edge and the business from viruses such as Pedia. The concept is simple. In the data center, we've perfected this art of virtualization to the point that we're starting to say is a hypervisor a commodity. But we haven't pushed this down to basically any other spots of the environment. You know, Citrix, VMware, Cisco, and a bunch of other vendors are talking about software-defined networking and the ability to use a network hypervisor to capture the current state of your network and then replay that in the case of a misconfiguration. Same thing we do in the data center for server virtualization. This concept, there's no reason why it doesn't exist at the desktop layer. VDI has been around for a long time. We've talked about the year VDI over and over again. At my last full-time job, I abandoned the desktop. I was just frustrated. You know, in the balance of trying to keep end users protected, we come up with these applications, DLP, antivirus, IPS, intrusion protection systems. We put all of this heavy infrastructure on desktops, slow them down to the point where they're unusable. I mean, I don't care if you have a Microsoft Surface, the latest and greatest HPE, Dell Technologies workstation. If you put too much virus protection and security on a solution, it will bring it to its knees. So I abandoned my corporate desktop and just used VDI. Between approved solutions like OneNote, Google Drive, etc., when I was disconnected from the network, I could still work. So VDI was my preferred method to interact with enterprise applications. The other advantage of VDI beyond BYOD, bring your own device, is the ability to encapsulate these legacy applications. So a lot of instances, these viruses have taken foothold because of legacy systems like Windows XP. If I have Windows XP out on the dock, I've worked in a manufacturing environment before. It's dirty, it's difficult, it's just it's one of the more difficult areas to support compute. So VDI from just that perspective makes sense. However, one of the other problems is that these applications are rarely updated. So the need to continue to run a Windows XP image to support a mission critical shipping application. I have a buddy who goes around and makes periodic backups of hard drives because their manufacturing process is predicated on these Windows XP terminals. In a VDI solution, we can encapsulate that image. We can do a P2V, virtualize that image, that specific workstation, create a gold image of it. Every time there's a update or security vulnerability, we can apply the patches to that. If something goes awry, we can revert back to the known good image. Even if data is encrypted, that is now part of our data center backup strategy, so we're no longer backing up individual machines. So while this may not be the year of VDI, this is the year that we should take VDI pretty serious, especially as we struggle through supporting legacy applications out on the edge. Now, VDI isn't the cure-all because we have embedded systems that have Windows XP code, etc. So we will need to continue to take a segregation approach to our manufacturing floor and our dock and physical shipping and receiving areas that have isolated environments that require embedded systems that we can't simply virtualize. But there's other strategies. There's no reason if we have a desktop in today's environment that has a legacy operating system that we can't protect our organizations, at least through something as simple as VDI, or we'll get into micro-segmentation in the future solution on solutions like Elimino, which are geared towards specific workstations in workstation environments. That's it for this CTO Advisor Daily Dose. Tell me what you think about, I have a keyboard up and running. Who knew? But tell me what you think about the virtual screen. I haven't drawn anything today, but I really want feedback. Do we go back to the whiteboard format, or we use this monitor way to present ideas? Visit me on the web, thectoadvisor.com, on Twitter, @CTOadvisor. Subscribe to the podcast, rate us in iTunes. Talk to you guys next Daily Dose.